Hello everyone, I am Nayana, studying MCA in Manasa Gangotri, Mysore. In this video, I am going to explain about conversational AI in business. Simply, conversational AI means it enables automatic messaging and conversation between computers and humans. Let's see the content. What is conversational AI? The technologies behind conversational AI. How does conversational AI works? How to design conversational AI? 6 ways to build conversational AI. How businesses can use conversational AI. Conversational AI's impact on business. Conclusion. First, what is conversational AI? Conversational AI is a set of technologies that enable computers to understand, process, and respond to voice or text inputs in natural ways and is typically used in conjunction with bots or intelligent virtual agents. It helps people interact with complex systems in faster and easier ways and helps businesses deliver personalized engagement and support at scale. This image shows how customers can ask their queries through conversational AI. The technology behind conversational AI. The artificial intelligence in conversational AI is what gives it the brains necessary to converse like a human. The artificial intelligence behind the conversational functionality of such a platform can range from complex techniques like machine learning and deep learning to surface layers of the platform that rely on simple if else chains to guide users through a flowchart. It could break down an effective platforms as follows. First layer is handle simpler exchanges through pre-built conversational flows that anticipate numerous possible cases. This layer by itself resembles a classic chatbot. Techniques used here include natural language processing to process incoming user messages and information extraction to understand their intents. And the second layer is a generative and neural conversation model that we use helps us cater to queries which the bot is usually not trained on. The bot goes back to ask the user a variation of their query if it doesn't understand a particular part of the request. And the third layer is default to a small talk module that can handle random open-ended queries about the weather, etc. Here, the bot would pick up the context to understand where the conversation is heading, generating an appropriate response based on the information provided and deliver an appropriate response to the user response. Next, conversational AI still needs human. Conversational chatbots are here to stay, but they can only function optimally with both skilled terms behind them and also implementers who understand how best to use these technologies. Next, how does conversational AI work? This image shows how conversational AI works. Conversational AI uses a set of backend algorithms and processes. This begins when a person submits a request at the start of the conversation. The artificial intelligence solution recognizes synonyms, conical word forms, grammar, and slang and responds logically using natural language processing. Moreover, natural language understanding enables it to interrupt the user's query by eliminating any flaws in the language. All that it keeps in mind is the context of the query put. This empowers AI solutions to interact and engage with humans naturally. So, when the NLP has processed the user's query, bots use machine learning to learn and improve their performance by relying on patterns, interference, human agent communications, and past encounters. Machine learning is intended to assist the AI bot in learning with each human interaction, implying that its responses to consumers would improve with time. Finally, after determining the user's intent, the conversational AI chatbot employs natural language generating to react in written or voice output that the user can understand. How to design conversational AI? This is the real time example. Create a board for adding time activities by employees with time activity. They can specify the date, time spent on some task, assign it to a project or customer, and in addition to that, specify the hourly rate and if it is billable or not. First step, define intents. To design the intents in many cases, here we trying to communicate with the board's future users. We can write a story and explain the purpose of your request to provide different example of intents that they can use in the board for adding new time activity. This step aims to have real-time examples for the users, and it is not only for training the intent and getting higher confidence for it but also for designing the board in the most appropriate way. This is the design of intents. And when users start to use your board, you will find that they will try to use other intents, and in many cases they will not be so simple as you have designed. They can look like this. The above example provides us a lot of insights. First of all, we found that the utterances include the context variables like today, I, 7 hours, and customer. Disney, we need to process them automatically. If the person wants to provide all the needed information in the initial message, in that case, we don't need to ask the user to provide information about the time activities date, who performed the time activity, time spent, and the customer. These are the questions no need to ask as below. You need to automatically recognize all the context variables and not ask unnecessary questions because it will lead to a bad user experience. So now, when you have examples of different utterances, you can start designing the entities, named entity recognition, conversation flow, and integration with third-party software. In second step, define entities. Almost all platforms like Google Dialogflow, Amazon Lex that provides the functionality for developing the boards include the system entities for recognizing the dates, numbers, time, currency, etc. In Google Dialogflow, you can use automated expansions functionality which enables automated expansion for a custom entity type. When enabled, your agent can recognize values that have not been explicitly provided. In addition to that, you can apply fuzzy matching and regular expression entities. This image shows entity type and entities. In Amazon Lex, you can use the default functionality of slots. In addition to that, you can try to use Amazon Comprehend services. These are the sample utterances. In step 3, verify entities. It is optional. The user can provide any customer name and we need to verify it exists on the backend side. So now you need to send the API to the backend to verify if the customer exists. This figure shows how to verify entities in the backend. API to the backend to validate if the customer's name exists on the backend side. You would need to evaluate at least 3 different responses types and design the conversation flows to handle each of them. First option is there is there is one-to-one match. You found a customer, so all good. you are sure that customers exist, and you can move forward with the user to create a time activity. Second option is there is a one-to-many match. You found more than one customer. In such cases, we are proposing to the user to choose which customer should be taken. We can do this because you will get the information about those customers and you can display to the user quick reply buttons. After that, user can select the customer and you can move forward. In third option, you can get the empty response, meaning that no customer matches the context variable value. Now you can propose to the user to select the customer from the entity list of customers as shown below. 6 ways to build conversational AI. First is rule-based. Rule-based systems are training on a predefined hierarchy of rules that govern how to transform user input into output dialogue or actions. Rule can range from simple to complex, and rule-based system is relatively straightforward to create. However, these systems aren't able to respond to input patterns or keywords that do not match existing rules as shown below. Second one is retrieval based. When given user input, the system uses heuristic to locate the best response from the database of predefined responses. Dialog selection is essential a prediction problem, and using heuristic to identify the most appropriate response template may involve simple algorithms like keywords matching, or it may require more complex processing with machine learning or deep learning. Regardless of the heuristic used, these systems only regurgitate predefined responses and do not generate new output. Mitsuku, one of the world's most popular open domain conversation chatbots, contains over 3 lakh hand-coded AI/ML response patterns and a knowledge base containing over 3,000 objects. Using these response patterns, this can even construct poems and songs about a given topic. Next one is generative methods. There are three approaches to do multi-step training for conversational agents or first one is supervised learning. Frames conversation as a sequence-to-sequence problem where user's input is mapped to a computer-generated response. However, sequence-to-sequence learning tends to prioritize high priority, high probability response content. Such a system also have trouble incorporating proper nouns into their speech because they occur at a much lower frequency in dialogue as compared to other classes of words. All of these issues add up to systems that are boring and repetitive to talk and likely would not promote sustained human engagement. This is the method of encoding and decoding. Second step is reinforcement learning, which models how agents should take actions that optimize for some cumulative reward, which in this case would be sustained human interest and engagement with the conversational AI. And third step is adversarial learning. It also has been used to improve neural dialogue output. With, with this training, conversational agents learn through a miniature Turing test where a generator network creates plausible human-like responses while a discriminator network judges whether they are real human conversations or computer-generated output. While this method have worked well for images, they aren't as productive for use in dialogue system. Unlike pixel values, words are discrete and cannot be infinitesimally perturbed. Additionally, teaching our conversational agents to mimic humans may not be the ideal training approach. Anyone who has ever observed two grown men getting into a Twitter fight knows that even human level intelligence is also not always a sufficient condition for productive conversations. Fourth one is ensemble methods. Recent state-of-the-art conversational AI such as Alexa price boards, which were designed to be conversational boards that would talk about any subject, have been with ensemble methods, which use some combination of rule-based, retrieval-based, and generative method approaches as dictated by context. They may use a rule-based approach to sing a song, a retrieval-based approach to talk about the news, and a generative approach to handle other unspecified use cases. The most advanced systems use hierarchical reinforcement learning, which uses a low-level dialogue policy to address the immediate task, while a higher-level policy coordinates model selection or other strategic goals. Fifth one is grounded learning. Human dialogue relies extensively on context and external knowledge. For example, if you told a chatbot that you were going to the Swan Oyster Depot, the chatbot would probably recognize Swan Oyster Depot as a restaurant, possibly a seafood restaurant, and it may tell you to have a good time. Your human conversational partner drew upon a personal knowledge to tell you something novel. The chatbot would probably not have because the data, like the bulk of human knowledge, was probably not in its training data set. That inability to incorporate real world knowledge also means that generative models are still very bad at creating useful or meaningful chatter. And the last one is interactive learning. This learning remains an area of active study despite decades of continued development. Terry Wincott's Strudel and Percy Liang's more modern version are the two examples of simple cooperative learning games. In this, human operate knows their desired goal of the game but has no direct control over the game pieces. The computer has control but does not understand language. The human player's goal is to interactively instruct the computer to map language to concepts until it can perform the correct actions to complete the task. Again, though this task looks to humans, it is hard for computers because have no prior conception of language. It does not understand the difference between red or blue, or whether an object is pyramid or a cube. This actual language that human players used to teach the computers turned out to be less important than the ability to issue clear and consistent commands. Based on his experience with this, Liang observed, how do we represent knowledge, context, memory? Maybe we shouldn't be focused on creating better models, but rather better environments for interactive learning. Then how businesses can use conversational AI. There are list of best performing applications of conversational AI. Lead generation. Some lead generation bots have seen conversation rates 10 times that of static web forms. Next one is keeping a current customer happy. Conversational AI agents can run circles around human customer service agents who aren't easily scalable and cannot be everywhere all the time. And the next one is customer support. Gartner predicts that by 2021, 25% of enterprises across the globe will have virtual assistant to handle support issues. Next one is feedback and insights. Based on our research, customers are 3 times more likely to share their feedback with a bot than fill survey forms. Last is AI impacts on business. I see a natural progression from knobs and dials to clicks and taps, to swipes and gestures, to voice and emotions. By Imran Chaudhry, the iPhone's original UI designer. Businesses are no exception to this rule. As more and more users now accept and prefer chat as a primary mode for communication, they will begin to see more and more businesses leveraging conversational AI to achieve business goals. Just as Gartner predicts, it's not just for the customer, their business can reduce operational cost and scale operations as well. By ensuring that you are available to listen and talk to your customer at any time the day. Conversation capable chatbots can ensure that your business always wins top marks of engagement and availability. Then conclusion, conversational AI will help your business succeed. Conversational AI will help you reach more customers and leads quickly and efficiently. Most businesses already use some kind of live chat feature for sales and support teams to easily interact with customers and leads. These AI platforms simply just allow you to take the customer engagement offering to the next step. These tools are an easy way to streamline the process of keeping up with your customers and leads. Evolving needs follow our latest list of tips for implementing live websites chats to ensure you get the interaction you are looking for from your customers. Thank you.